From King Solo Maine, why can't a backup tight end be trained to be a long snapper to consolidate a roster spot like I suggested the tight end, fullback, H-back can be one spot? I linked the video when I replied to this. There's a really good 9-minute answer from Bill Belichick as to why NFL teams don't do that. The short version of it is it's a very specialized position that actually isn't the easiest to figure out and identify and learn and do. And I watched the Bengals one year lose a game because their long snapper went down and they had 2 botched snaps and they would have won that game. I think sometimes you just treat it as like Madden. Oh, you just snap it. It's actually very different. It's kind of like how you don't see people do kicking and punting. It's 2 different styles that don't quite equate to similar enough in the end. And the level of accuracy and timing has to be so precise. It's a lot more challenging than I think people tend to realize. And that came in via Super Thanks. It's a feature here on YouTube. Allows you to donate outside of live videos. Click the thanks icon, edit your message, send in whatever you want to send in. Within reason, no isms. I think you guys know what I mean there. We will give you a shout out on the show. Appreciate all your support here at the Cowboys Report. Mighty Ant, Tom, what's up with Pretty Rickey? Wrong, LOL, how is Olivia and the wife? I think he's going to be right on the Lamb money. He was right about Bucker, by the way, getting an extension. I think that the probably got a little bit too excited with where they were at in the contract talks, but I think the average per year is going to come out right on the money, by the way. Olivia and the wife, doing great. David Lopez, if Mahomes was the quarterback of the Cowboys, guaranteed to go to an NFC Championship at least. He's getting paid $45 million a year. Think about that, Dak. Thanks. Here's the issue. Anytime you try to compare any quarterback in this league to Mahomes, playoff results, regular season results, performance, contract, he's an outlier. There's about a dozen QBs now that are making more guaranteed money or more average per year than Patrick Mahomes is. By the way, the Chiefs paid Mahomes over $10 million more on the salary cap last year than Dallas paid Dak Prescott did. The reason why Mahomes got the championship is because of Mahomes. It's not like, if Dak takes $10 million less, boom, the Cowboys spend it. Are we sure they're going to spend it? Because I'm not sure that they're going to. That's a real concern I have with the way this team runs its business overall. So yeah, Mahomes, you probably win a Super Bowl, but Mahomes is the outlier. If you are always chasing that dragon of Mahomes, you're going to be really disappointed. For Mighty Ant again, hey Tom, you suck at CFP 25. I beat Harrison. The Heisman dynasty was a disaster for my house. I couldn't win shit. What's with no DT signings, scratching head? I think that they just missed their window. There's nobody good out there. I think Campbell wanted to go back home. They misjudged the market across the board. They don't have depth overall. They didn't spend money, and it's being shown right now. They're going to have to wait for roster cuts or a trade come roster cut down time. So predictions. Will the Cowboys add another DT? Y for yes, N for no in the comments of today's show. It's the pin comment, by the way. $10 from Massive Matt. Forgot about GTA 6 shot before he won another championship. Reversal of the meme there. We haven't won since the entire series started. I'll still try to support us, though. There's a lot of things that have happened and haven't happened since the last time the Cowboys won a championship. So, yeah. Destroyer Dog, Tom. If CeeDee and Micah get new deals except Dak, who replaces Dak in free agency or the draft? Plus, just say for my birthday, go Cowboys. Happy belated birthday, Destroyer Dog, to you. Look, I don't know. Your top free agent option is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? Jacoby Brissett? None of those options look good to me. None of them interest me at all. So I would have some concerns on that front. Draft, maybe Shedeur Sanders slides for you, but even then, if he slides, do you want him? That's kind of the issues you start to run into here with figuring out what the quarterback market is actually going to look like. It's not nearly as straightforward as I would like it to be. It's not a fun place to be. Got to be worried about that. Now, today's show was made possible by Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Most Americans think they spend about $62 a month on subscriptions. But get this, the actual number is closer to $300 a month in subscriptions. That is thousands of dollars a year, a lot of which we've probably forgotten about. Thankfully, Rocket Money helps prevent that stuff from going down. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and it's a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. That's rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. One more time for you, though. It's rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. From William Cook, what happened to the close signing Lamb stories? I think that there was little, I think Ricky was, I think he's going to be right on the money, by the way. As of filming this on Monday, by the way, in case something happens whenever this video goes out. I think the average per year is going to be right. I think there was a bigger gap than maybe he realized the two sides had to cross on some other stuff. So it'll get done. Otherwise, I'm going to riot. But I think the average per year was a little bit too much of an excitement difference there. Because I think they were pretty close on the average per year. It was the other stuff they had to keep working through. From Tyler, I think Dallas can have pre-snap motion. Worked last year for Lamb and Ferguson to get a better matchup, but they stopped later in the season. Yeah, they tend to do that, huh? For a long time now, this team has adopted when the going gets tough, they go into a shell on offense. They stop the motion. They try to run the ball a lot. That doesn't work very well. I think they will use motion. Will they use it in the postseason? We'll find out. Corey, top player who could actually be traded for something. I don't know. Can you flip like Matt Waletzko for something? For a backup DT? The dark horse one is one of your safeties. I think you got 4 good ones, depending on where you count Mukwamu, maybe 5. But also, do you want to move on from those? Because then one injury happens and all of a sudden you're thin again. So I don't think they're going to trade Scoodmaker, but he could get you something. It's as bad as he's been, but they also don't like giving up on guys that quickly. I want some realistic ideas on today's show. Put your Cowboys trade ideas in the comments section of today's video. Realistic trades, not Patrick Mahomes. Let me know in the comments of today's video what your trade ideas are. For Peacock 1, is there really going to be a salary cap for QBs? I heard it a while back. I haven't heard it since. No, it's not going to happen. I get that some of the owners had floated that idea out there. Let us be clear. That is not to allow them to spend more money elsewhere. It's to try to mitigate the massively growing quarterback contract market. Like, that's what this actually is. Now, the biggest issue you are going to have here, this would have to be cleared by the CBA. And you have to get the NFLPA and ownership to agree to it. And I don't know what the NFL would give up to have the NFLPA sign off on this, because they weren't in favor of doing it from the running back perspective, and it would also severely limit the free market. That's the whole point of free agency. There's a cap on QBs. This is literally collusion in the end. Like, that's truly what this is, if you put a cap on QB contracts. Now, maybe you can find a way around it, whatever. I'd be pretty blown away if they did a salary cap for just QBs. Because frankly, as expensive as the numbers are, the average per year relative to the salary cap, it hasn't really grown by that much. We're talking like 1 or 2 percentage points, which has basically been cut off by the running back market decline. Now, if you are a true diehard Cowboys fan, sorry, someone called that communism. Dead. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/Cowboys TV. More free Cowboys videos every single day right here on the channel. Daniel M. wants list needs before the season. Running back, DT, and corner would be areas to improve on. I got us getting Herbert from the Bears for a 5th-round pick. Thoughts? I think you're in good shape at corner. Barring injury, knock on wood, I think you're fine. I would love a DT. I got a lot of 5s and 6s. I'll trade one for Herbert and treat him as a 1-year rental. I think that's your best back on the roster. I would love to do it. We'll see if that happens. Daniel M. How about a dream scenario of a Jeffrey Simmons trade if the Titans fall out of contention? Would you trade your future first for Simmons right now? So, weird answer, but I think I would only consider doing that from the Cowboys. We'll get Tennessee's picture in a second. I would only do that trade if I'd paid Dak. I can't trade my first-round pick if I don't have a single QB under contract for 2025. I might need that pick for a QB. It's like trading for Simmons is an actual all-in move. Like it is an aggressive, splashy move to get a superstar defensive tackle who I love, and I think would also have interest in coming to Dallas, by the way, if it came to that. I also don't think Tennessee's going to trade him. Even if they're bad, like he's under contract for 4 more years. He's semi-cost effective. He's 27 years old. I wouldn't assume he gets dealt. Bobby, is there a sleeper option at running back beyond the bigger names? Whoever the Dolphins end up cutting, which maybe just ends up being Jeff Wilson, who we've talked about. I kind of want to see who ends up getting cut, but I would like to get more help on this team. I don't trust this running back room. I really, really don't. So who leads Dallas in rushing this year? RD for Rico Dowdle, EE for Ezekiel Elliott, RF for Royce Freeman, or O for other. And if you type in O for other, let me know what player you have in mind. Johnny, if I'm just saying, if Dak walks, who do you expect will get a QB? I have no idea. Like, you're not going to have good options. Because if, let's say there's a quarterback who emerges as a top, wins the Heisman as a Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow year, that guy's going top 5. So how am I getting him? Can't trade Dak? Is my plan to suddenly trade Micah for all these assets and get the QB that I left? Hoping I get a top 10 one again? Like, there's a real downside there. I don't know what their plan is. I don't think they have a plan if they let Dak walk. So far, it ain't been Lance. So it's a great question, Johnny. I have no idea what the answer is. Ratio, Tom, just to make sure Daniel M. understands, tell him we do not need to bring back Gilmore. You don't need to bring back Gilmore. Frankly, I think the emergence of Kalen Carson helps you out in a pretty big way. But I also wouldn't be mad if they brought back Gilmore. I'd say this. I'd probably take a DT or running back over Gilmore simply because I just don't trust what I have in that room. I think that has the potential to be a bigger impact by going that route instead.